The cost of living in Poland, is it as cheap here as people perceive? Can you come like we have from the UK and live in Poland at a fraction of the cost of other countries? Is it possible to have a fantastic life in Poland on a budget? Let's find out.
Interesting subject. Money, money, money.
It is, and it is something that we considered when we wanted to move here. You know, how much do we need? How much do we need to live not just a normal life, because we're not about living normal lives. We want to live an awesome life, yeah?
Yeah.
Comfortable? I don't want to live a comfortable life. I want to live an extraordinary life.
Yes, that one too.
Comfortable, extraordinary. We want to live an extraordinary life. Well, I know I do anyway.
Yeah,
and
totally.
I would love to live an extraordinary life on a budget. Let's be honest, if we can live it cheaply in a country like Poland rather than, you know, what is going on?
I'm just having this thing in my head when
What?
you allowed me to buy a Rolex today. It was just funny.
We're talking about
Because
the cost
we've been
of
living on
in
the
Poland.
budget and we saved so much money. A husband of mine said, "Wifey, I think you should buy that Rolex that you really like." You did.
I did, and I will allow her to buy the Rolex because we have saved a fair bit of money in Poland. We are starting to make some money in Poland, and life is looking good. And you have to treat yourself from time to time.
You do. I think that's one thing that we're missing in here, because we had this rule about life that you celebrate your wins. So when you have got little achievements, it doesn't have to be anything big or anything special, super special. But when you do achieve something, you just celebrate it. And we had that tradition, didn't we?
Even if it's just a little pat on the back. You
Yeah.
know, well done, you did good. You got into the gym today when you didn't feel like it. It's a win. Pat on the back. It makes you feel good.
Oh, it
and
does.
we've actually done pretty well in Poland since we've been here. We haven't set the world on fire yet. You know, it's still work in progress, but we're doing okay, and we're feeling very confident about the future.
However, I take a lot of credit for that because I like saving, I like setting up the budget. The builders refuse to talk to me. They want to talk to my husband because he just says yes to everything.
I'm very easygoing, and I want quick solutions. I want to get on with things very quickly. I want to make money. So the builder comes in, he wants something, yep, done, deal, gone. I can get on with what I want to get on with. I don't want to be standing there for hours, negotiating, talking, driving the price down as this young lady would. You know, so there's different ways of living, and there's different ideas of what you want to achieve and how you're going to achieve it. And I think with the cost of living, the first thing you've got to understand is it's all relative towards your income. Go on.
But also it's all relative to the quality of life that you want to have.
Yeah, absolutely. But if you've got, let's say you've got a bucket load of income, you're not particularly worried about the cost of living.
No.
You know, £100 to a billionaire is just nothing. You know, £100 to someone who's on a really small pension is a lot of money, and every penny has to be accountable for. So first and foremost, I have a philosophy with life is you shouldn't worry too much about the cost of things and how much you can save. You should focus on how much you can earn. You can only save so much, but you can earn an infinite amount of money. So my focus is always on how much can we earn? How much can we maximize this? How can we increase our return on investment? Because then we don't have to worry about the cost of living. But for the majority of people, I know the cost of living is a hot topic. People are worried about it, and not everybody has that ability to build a business, create a business, and increase their income because they're in a fixed job, or maybe they're on a pension, or they're on a tight income. And it is very, very concerning for a lot of people. And I think in Poland, I'll take you back a little bit before I answer that. When I was, years ago, a lot of friends of mine, we were going to stag do's and things like that in Krakow, and everybody, without any shadow of doubt, would come back and say, it's so cheap in Poland. You can get beers for like 60p or whatever it was, I don't know, back then. And everyone was so happy because they would come here, have a good weekend here, cost peanuts, and have a brilliant time. But it's not like that so much anymore, is it? The cost of food in Poland actually is very expensive now. and it's even more expensive compared to what people are earning than ever before.
I mean, some things are more expensive than in the UK,
They
and
are.
that is shocking.
It is really
Yeah.
shocking. We never expected that at all,
No,
did we?
and it's not in proportion with what people earn. I think the average monthly salary, a full-time salary, is about 4,000 zloty.
That's
If
maybe
you do
right.
work, work
Yeah.
full-time and stuff, and then you've got so much money going out in every single direction that at the end of the month you just look at your bank statements or the app on the phone and you're like, well, where did the money go?
The most heartbreaking thing I'm seeing in Poland is people putting things back on the checkout
That's
because
so
they can't
sad.
afford it, and it's really, really sad. And you know, it's 2025, nearly 2026. It makes your heart bleed that these people have maybe a choice between heating their home, feeding the family,
Or getting a chocolate for the child.
getting a chocolate for the child. We was in a supermarket and the kids wanted a little toy, didn't they? And I think the woman actually put everything on the belt to start off with, really wanted to treat her children, but when the final bill come through, just couldn't afford it. And it's just so sad, and you could see the disappointment on the kids' face. The toys went back.
Yeah, but I think the cost of living is going up massively everywhere. It's not just Poland.
Oh, absolutely, and that's what we want to delve into, and that's what we want to talk about. You know, in real terms, actually, Poland compared to other countries is still very cheap. I read a report yesterday where Poland was actually 70% cheaper than New York.
Wow.
You know, 70%. Yeah, it was the 58th country on the list of cheap places to live. You know, it wasn't the cheapest, but you know, it's 58th, and they run country by country based on the cost of living in New York, and here is 70% cheaper than New York. So if you're coming from New York to Poland, you're thinking with a New Yorker's salary, you're looking at it thinking, wow, everything here is cheap. What a great life. But if you're living in Poland on a 4,000 zloty salary or pension or something like that, you're now looking at things and thinking, this isn't sustainable.
No.
This is really expensive. But there are ways to save money here.
Of course. I mean, with us, I think our cost of living has gone down massively because when we were in the UK, we calculated how much we need just to cover all the bills and all the expenses, excluding going out for a meal, excluding buying something, doing a bit of shopping, and we needed about £6,000 a month, which is about 30,000 zlotych a month. Yeah, that was the mortgage payment, the council tax, the water. I mean, our electricity bill at one point was £600 a month. Yeah, now we're paying £180 for 2 months.
And a bigger property.
And it's a lot bigger property, and there's a lot more lights that we use and the electricity and stuff. Yeah, so we've got, I mean, we were stupid enough to live in the UK up until the moment when both kids were getting the place in the public school, so we didn't have to pay £1,700 a month for a placement at the nursery, which we used to do for Lucy, and that was a big strain on the budget. I mean, we're paying 3,000 zlotych now for both of them. That's about £600 a month. They get 5 meals a day. It's a language school. They do all sorts of activities, and it's a private school, which is lovely. I don't think you can go into a full-time private education at the nursery for your kids for £300 a month.
In UK?
In the UK.
No, absolutely not. There's not a chance.
chance.
I mean, we was paying, what was we paying in the UK for?
1,700.
1,700, and they got lunch.
And they got, there was breakfast.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
There was lunch and there was tea.
Right, okay. Nowhere near the quality of the food
Nowhere
in
near the-
Poland.
no.
You know, in Poland, we look at the menu that the kids get in their private school in here. It's wonderful, isn't it? In England, it was very much sort of baked beans, fish fingers, you know, light food. And we was paying an absolute fortune for that. So there's many things here that we are, wow, this is really good.
Mobile phones, we were paying £400 a month for our mobile phones. We're paying 20 zloty each, which is £4. It doesn't include the device because in England we had to be
We was
paying,
paying for the device,
we were paying for the
and we was paying
device
for
and
unlimited
stuff.
data and stuff like
And
that.
data.
So that's not quite a like-for-like comparison, but
No.
it just shows that by thinking about things, I think sometimes when we was in England, we was quite big earners and we had businesses, and we didn't really pay much attention to the pennies. So we wanted to just buy it. I mean, we did an audit in England, and this isn't us. This isn't us flexing. This isn't us bragging. This is actually us saying how bloody stupid we was. We sat down one day and we said, right.
We had this audit came from the guy Stuart who used to coach us. He was our business coach, and we found out that he's really tight. He puts every single expense, every single bit of money that he spends, he puts it on the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Even if his wife goes out to Tesco and buys a pair of sneakers, that has to go on the spreadsheet. And that's when you had a good idea. Let's do the spreadsheet of cost for us. It was an eye-opening of how much money you actually waste and how much crap you buy that you don't need.
What was we spending on takeaways?
We spent £2,000 a month on takeaways, eating out at the restaurants. We used to love going to Prezzo, we used to love going for fish and chips, jacket potatoes and all kind of things, which were nice because we always worked from home. So sometimes instead of being at home, we lived by the beach, let's go and get our laptops and just sit down and have some fish and chips whilst we're working.
Spending money.
So
we cut that out actually. Well,
we
that was a bit of a
went
shocker,
out
wasn't
3 times since we got in here 4 months ago, 3 times. And it's not because we can't, in the actual fact, we had to pay the babysitter up to £20 an hour in the past because we wanted to go out. In the UK. We have my mum and dad, we have my brother, we've got our friends who are always happy to have our kids. We don't have to pay them. We went out 3 times in 4 months.
We go out a lot less here.
Yeah, but that's because I don't particularly enjoy the food that is being served out there. The homemade food is just so lovely, so fresh, so nice. That we tend to stay at home.
We do, and that's credit to Poland in a way that the food here is very fresh and it's very nutritious, and you can have a really fantastic home cooked meal here. Whereas in England, we can have it, but you know it's more convenient, I think, to our lifestyle to go out and just eat on the go quickly and more expensively. So here, we're 100% saving a lot of money on our takeaways.
Yeah, but I think the other reason why we don't go out so much to eat is that we've got so many more people around us. So like yesterday, we could get the kids into the car and go for pizza or go to the restaurant or go and have a nice day out. But instead, we walked to my mum, who lives about 15 minutes walk away from us. She made us this beautiful lunch, dinner. You had some flaki, we had some schabowe, we had some mielone, we had some karkówka, we had some potatoes, and then we had prośnianki, mushrooms, like the pickled mushrooms, the best mushrooms that you can have, and it was all homemade and handmade, and that was just lovely, wasn't it?
And this is one way of keeping the cost of living down. It's homemade food. The mushrooms was picked from the woods. The salad was made, homemade. The flaki, your mum made it herself, didn't she? It was just all, I wouldn't say organic food, but very, very wholesome, home-cooked food that tasted delicious and then didn't urge us to then go and have a takeaway or go out or spend extra money. So food here is expensive. It's not cheap. You're not going to come here and think, oh wow, that is so much cheaper than the UK. In some respects, it's more than the UK.
It depends.
Especially if you buy UK products. But if you do shop locally, if you do shop, and buy Polish products, there are still savings to make, yeah?
And there's our kids, they love baked beans. Heinz baked beans. A tin of baked beans from Heinz is 8 zloty here, which is nearly £2.
And in the UK?
In the UK, I think it's about £1.20.
So it's a big difference.
That's a big difference.
A big difference, especially as the income here isn't as high as in Poland. When you factor that in as well, it makes it a huge difference.
Yeah, the toiletries, they're so much more expensive than in the UK. I was looking at the Pantene conditioner, and it was nearly £10 for a bottle of conditioner.
But then you can buy the Polish brand, which I bought, which 4 zloty for a shower gel and everything. Fantastic.
Not for the hair.
Yes, it's a shower gel. It's a 4-in-1. It's a hair shower gel. Smells
that's
great.
The one who says he doesn't like saving. He likes making money. But here we come. The peacock comes out of you. Huh?
I was allowed to go shopping on my own.
Polish and proud.
And I bought Polish stuff. I bought the marchewka.
You bought the marchewka.
Marchewka, which was a struggle because I was looking for carrots on the swiping thing, and I bought some shower gel and I bought some other things. And you even said, actually, you did really well. That was pretty cheap, because I'm still in that mindset. I do 2 stupid things in Poland. One is I compare everything to UK prices. Every time I see in zloty, it firstly seems really expensive
know, it
because it's
does.
like, you know, that's 100 zloty. What's that, £2?
20.
£20. Yes, beg your pardon. Yeah, £20. Yeah. And then I see 100 zloty. Oh my God, that's so expensive. I don't want to spend 100 zloty. And then I think, no, 100 zloty is £20. Okay, that's not too bad. I got to stop doing that because I'm not getting used to the prices in Poland. I'm thinking of the prices in UK. It's a pointless exercise. I'm not in the UK anymore. And secondly, I'm not focusing on the deals. You focus
I love
heavily
this.
on the
I
deals,
am
don't
such
you?
a deal queen.
Yeah. So when we shop, I will just be putting everything in the basket that I'm used to doing in the UK. She'll be taking everything out of the basket and putting it back and replacing it with the stuff with the deals because she notices the deals. And when you shop for the deals,
You can.
there is good savings. There is I think, and I think this is a tip to British people coming over to Poland. Polish people love a deal. They absolutely love a deal. And I think the way the shops entice people in is by giving deals.
Yeah.
Tesco's opened in Poland, and my understanding is Tesco's never really made an impact in Poland, so they wasn't offering the right sort of deals to
They
the
shut
consumers.
in our town, yeah.
They shut. So if you shop, you have to be very mindful of the deals. And
You
luckily
can
you
get
are.
so much more for your money. You really can.
You saved a fortune,
Yeah,
haven't you?
and it's also planning. Like, I've got it from my mom. My mom loves planning. She's very calculated when it comes to making meals and how it works. So let's say we made it in our house. She bought this beautiful piece of karkówka that was 39 zlotych. You love karkówka. Yeah.
Fantastic, yeah.
So 39 zlotych is about £8. Yeah, it was 2.5 kilograms of the fresh meat. That was just beautiful. We baked it in our house. We cut a lot.
Yeah,
There's a little video on TikTok
Yeah,
about it,
yeah,
isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah.
And stuff. But that was a meal for probably less than 60 zlotych, £12, that has fed so many people. You still have got a big piece for another day and stuff. And you can also go and buy things that are expensive, that are like triple the price, and eat a lot less. So it's just knowing what to eat, how to eat it. I mean, my mom makes this lovely skwarki with some onions. Oh, you know, the little pieces of meat.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the nice oil and the onions and stuff. And that was like cheap as... What's cheap? As
Cheap as chips,
potatoes.
as they say,
Well,
don't they?
potatoes were quite cheap at this time because you get 1 kilogram of potatoes for 20 pence.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So the deals are there, and planning ahead, preparing the food, and knowing what to buy and when to buy it makes a really big difference to your budget. And if you're on a budget, a little bit of creative thinking, a little bit of planning certainly will help you make the pennies go further. The other thing that, you know, I think we benefited from in Poland is the property.
Yeah.
You know, property in Poland is without doubt a lot cheaper than in England. So if you are thinking of coming over, and especially if you are like us and you're very fortunate to have a fair bit of equity in your UK home, if you do cash that in and bring that to Poland, you can buy some phenomenal property here for a fraction of the price. Now, we're not talking like major cities like
Gdańsk, Warsaw,
Krakow.
no.
It's a little bit more expensive there, as it always is in any city around the world, but you will still get more for your money than you will in, say, London and New York.
Yeah.
You will. And I love the property in Poland. I've always had an obsession with property, and I love looking at the architecture, and I love driving around and seeing the different styles. And one of the things I like about Poland so much is every property is different. There's so many different properties
People
here.
take so much pride out
So
of
much pride.
having their house nice. And I think I get down sometimes because we have this beautiful big house, but it needs a lot of work.
It needs a lot of work.
And
Yeah.
you drive around and you see all them beautiful modern building with really nice roof, and you think, oh, I can't wait for our house to be like that.
And it will be. And we are making inroads into developing this house. The builder's here at the moment. You might hear a little bit of drilling in the background. He's doing the bathroom upstairs. But this is the other thing we've been doing. We've been going to places like Castorama, and we've been getting really friendly with the staff there. And they know us now, really on personal terms.
Yeah.
And they know your name. They know I'm the stupid English bloke who wears a T-shirt all the time.
They know when we have ding-dongs because I go to Castorama on my own.
Ding dong is our word for argument.
Yeah.
She goes on her own.
When
Oh,
we
you're
don't talk.
you're not talking to your husband again. No. But what we've done is we've built a little bit of a network in there, haven't we? So if there's a promotion on, if there's a deal on, when we go to the counter, they're like, you know what, there's a deal on here. You
Don't
could do
buy
this,
it
you could
now,
do that.
wait until next
get this,
week.
get that.
Yeah.
So it's sometimes how you talk to people, how you let them know what you want and where you're angling from and getting your face out there that enables you to save money. And we've saved an absolute fortune. I'll give you an example. We've got a house that we've bought for investment, and we're refurbing it. And we've refurbished this house predominantly through Castorama.
Yeah.
Most of
I
the
love
stuff is coming
Castorama.
out
I just adore Castorama. I could be going. We go to Castorama nearly every day.
And we get a free coffee in there because we buy something
Yeah, we
before
learned
9
that
o'clock.
if you get there between 7 and 9 and you buy something, you get a free coffee.
Yep.
That normally costs 4 zloty or 7 zloty.
Something like that, I don't know.
So we buy a little scroll.
Get a free coffee, and the staff in there laugh at us.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, it's them two again coming for their free coffee." But it's funny, and we joke about it. But it's got us known. So when there's a deal up, they're like, you know, have you seen this deal? We bought a kitchen in Castorama, an ex-display kitchen. We took a gamble on it because it was all broken down into smaller pieces, and we couldn't see, you know, scratches and stuff like that, or if it was all there.
I've got a picture of
The kitchen would have typically cost us. How much would it have cost us?
18,000 zloty.
And what did we pay for it?
2,999.
3,000 zloty, down from 18,000 zloty, and this kitchen has gone in. Okay, we bought the appliances as well on top of that, but we've got this beautiful kitchen fitted into our rental place for next to nothing. So the cost of living, it isn't as cheap as people think. If you're on a low wage, it's obviously expensive. If you're on a really high wage, you don't care that much anyway. If you're coming from England,
This
is that the
our
kitchen?
I don't know if you can see.
Probably.
But it's not just the kitchen that we got. We also managed to have a little bit of furniture for the hallway as you enter the house. And the cabinet for
You
the
love
corner.
showing this off. You're so proud of it.
Oh, I
aren't you?
just love it.
And I think we would love it whether we paid a fair bit of money for it or not, because it's a lovely kitchen. But just knowing we got that kitchen for like 3,000 zloty, it's just, you can do it, people. You can come here or live here on a budget if you really want to. Now, that's not my philosophy of moving forward.
No, but can I just say
Go on.
something?
You can. It's a YouTube channel. It'd be pretty boring if you didn't say
I
something.
know. Okay, so I like to play with the numbers and I like to do the costing. I like to compare. I like the deals. I like to save money. I hate wasting, and I hate wasting money. I think it's just always been the thing with me. So I did the cost of living analysis last month when taking away all the stuff that we bought in Castorama for the houses, for the refurb and stuff, with the nursery fees, which is £3,200 with the English lessons the kid get, the food, the money that we spent, we literally spent 6,000 zloty throughout the whole month. That was 1,200.
Now, we are fortunate. We don't have a mortgage here.
We don't have the mortgage
so
here.
we're mortgage free. So you've got to take that into consideration as well. If you're going to come here and you're going to get a mortgage, or you live here and you've got a mortgage, you know, you've got to think of that.
Yeah.
And that we're very privileged and we're very grateful for that. But it just shows, you know, we're a family of four. We've got 4 kids.
Yeah.
There's 6 of us, but 2 are being educated abroad. We've got 2 young kids here in private education, Aga and myself. And how much was it?
6,000 zloty.
6,000 zloty. That's what we spent.
And it's not that we have been really tight. We lived. Like, we would go shopping, food shopping. We would go out every now and then. We would buy wine. I think that's one of the things. Wine is so much cheaper in here.
That's our biggest saving.
That's it really isn't our biggest saving. We think it's so nice and it's so cheap. We end up buying double of the wine. And then when you buy double of the wine, you drink double of the wine. And
I don't. I'm
oh,
not
come on,
drinking.
your red nose put you off the wine for the last few days. But
I've abstained from alcohol now for a
yeah.
few weeks, and I've got to the end of October
Yeah.
where we're going to go to Warsaw to do some Christmas shopping, not to have alcohol. So there's savings there as well.
I've noticed the social life is so different. Like, you've got people coming into the house, you go to see people, and I don't know if it's tradition or if it's just the habit. You always offer something to drink to people. And I found myself drinking a lot more wine. I actually put myself on the detox.
Yeah, you're starting your detox as well, aren't you? So just to recap before we wrap up, yes, you can live here cheaply, but you need to have a bit of creative thinking. You need to shop around. You need to look for deals. You need to look for the promotions. You see what's on offer. And if you put the effort in, rather than just go out and grab the first thing you see off the shelf and pay a little bit more for it. If you shop locally, Polish products, definitely savings there. If
Make friends with local people, and they can tell you where to shop and where to go and how to shop, because us Polish people, we like to calculate and we like to get the good deal out of everything. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I'm quite proud of it.
I don't see anything wrong with that at all. If you're going to come from an affluent country like the UK or America or something like that, where property prices are very high and you've got equity in that property, you can cash out, you can come here, you can buy a fantastic property for a fraction of what you'd have back home, and you could potentially live mortgage free. So there's a big saving there, like we're experiencing at the moment. Schooling here, private schooling, is a lot cheaper than what you'd pay in London, a lot cheaper than what you pay in New York. Very high quality as well, clean premises, great food. The kids will very much enjoy it. So there's definitely benefits there. The country's very safe. If you want to go out in the evening, you can. There is plenty of variety, but you're going to have to be prepared to pay a little bit more. But having said that, you will still pay a lot less than what you would pay in London.
Yeah, I mean, we sometimes take our notebooks and we go to the coffee shop.
Yeah.
And we did that in England in the past as well, but we would have the British breakfast and we would spend about £40.
Easy.
Between £35 for the bill, £5 for the tip. And stuff. In here we spent £9.97 for 2 coffees, beautiful sandwiches, handmade sandwiches with fresh chicken, fresh vegetables, and the cake.
And it's stunning, absolutely beautiful. You know, you're not looking at this and thinking that's a cheap meal and not nice. You're actually eating it and think, wow, this is fantastic, fresh ingredients. So the quality of life here is very good in Poland. It is on the whole cheaper, especially if you can keep a UK income or an income from abroad. You're going to benefit massively by being in Poland. It is just such a thriving economy. It's such a beautiful place to live. There are many ways of saving money from a comparison to the UK, let's say. And I'm very happy we made this move. I'm very grateful we've made this move. I know life can be very hard for typically local Polish people if they're on a fixed pension or if they're on a fixed income, because prices have risen considerably and they're not going to be going down. They're only going to be going up, and that is a massive worry. So just before we go, I would say, and I would encourage anybody, if you are struggling, do the spreadsheet, work out what you're spending on, work out where you can get some deals, work out how you can save money, and try to save as much as you can. But just as importantly, try to work out how you can make a little bit more money, how you can build your income, what skill can you learn that could enable you to make more money, how can you make yourself more valuable to your employer or service more clients faster and better if you've got a business. Because if you can do those few things as well and you can earn more money, the cost of living doesn't worry you so much, does it? So
no, and we used to follow this guy, Grant Cardone, Uncle G. I love him. He's just brilliant. And I remember the one thing that he said that there's enough money for all of us to make a good living, and all you have to do, it's like he compared it into the water in the ocean. You just gotta get your bucket and you gotta fill it up.
Just keep filling that bucket up. They're printing money constantly, trillions and trillions and trillions of pounds and dollars and zloty is being printed all the time. Some of it's yours, it's just in other people's pockets. You just got to work out how to legally get it from their pocket into your pocket, reclaim it, invest it and spend it wisely, and the cost of living will never be a problem.
Yes.